What's poppin' and welcome back to a brand new video. Today is January 28th and I've been working on some kind of random stuff. Relatively unproductive day so far, but you know, it is what it is. I've edited and then I've started coding a little bit now in the evening, which is what I thought I'd show you. First, let's make some games. Okay, so here we are, back in the office. Let me zoom this in a little bit. There we go, nice and up close. So here we are, this is kind of what we've been working on. As you saw, we have this Jira board where we have a couple of the issues. We have finished a couple of them. For example, the QR code is now a little bit clearer, for example. I've fixed some spelling mistakes and made some UX design changes in terms of auto capitalizing names, etc. This is the rest of the stuff that we're gonna try to do tonight. Maybe this one for the add notice for empty gear inventory. Maybe we'll save this one because that one seemed a little bit difficult. But we're gonna try to get these three done for the rest of the evening. It's about 9 o'clock. And then that's what we're gonna see if we can manage to solve. So without further ado, let's get to it. So I started off by fixing some of the smaller issues you have, like, you know, the typos, those kinds of things. This is what's really good when you do beta tests, is you can find stuff that you wouldn't really find typically. So for example, when someone else tests your app, they don't really know how it's meant to work. So they will just use it how a default user would use it. But you know how it works, so you know what to click, you know what kind of bugs there are, etc. So that's why it's always good to get a fresh perspective to correct all of these small minor bugs. So that's what I started off. It was some typos on the saw page, for example. After that, I went and made some database optimizations because I realized I was, for some of the functions, writing a lot to the database, but I could probably reduce that in half in order to save some cost in the terms of data usage. So that was really good. Also, I noticed that when I'm using my camera for these time lapses, typically I use my iPhone, but now I get these annoying ass lines on the page, which is a little bit frustrating. So probably won't be using the Nikon cameras function for time-lapse anymore, but that is what it is. After this, I made some more concrete improvements. So for example, I made a function so that people can press see all jobs and then they're taken to the default all jobs page. But also I made the arrows on the jobs page work, and they didn't before, so that was some solid bug fixes. After that, I moved on to some location stuff. So for example, before it was a little bit confusing how you use the location. You couldn't really press it on the actual page. You had to go down to some little side menu at the bottom in order to see the location, so I fixed that. I also added the date picker for your birthday on your health and emergency info, so that was some pretty good stuff. But then in regards to giving some actual advice on how you can do this, is use software such as Jira. It's super useful in order to prioritize all the stuff you need to do. It's very nice to have it all in a layout so you see how much stuff you need to do before you can move on to the next phase of development, for example. And for me, that always helps so much. Also, it's pretty good in terms of holding yourself accountable, because if you just write it down on a note block, for example, it's very easy to just close that, whereas with Jira, you kind of have to have that tab open all the time in order to see what you have to do. So it keeps yourself accountable to the stuff that you actually need to do in order to launch your app. So definitely check Jira out if you haven't yet. And it's definitely what's helping me a lot to keep on track of all the stuff I have to do for the various development phases of this app. Okay, so I think we're gonna call it there for tonight, but let me show you quickly what it is that I've done. So as you can see, we made some good progress. We have 8 out of, I think we had 35 issues to begin with, so we have done 8 of them, and then tomorrow we're gonna try to get as much of these done as possible. Obviously I'm not gonna get done in one weekend, but I think we can make some good progress. But some of the updates I've made, for example, I've added a date picker here, so now for example we can change to my birth date like this, for example 21st of January. Wish me a happy birthday next time if you remember it, like so. A little bit spinny this. I guess we'll have to do a different layout for Android, and then it will update it like that instead of having to type it in. I guess that's a little bit smoother as a user. That was one of the changes. Then we've also done so that you can pick from the location here. Before, it would be like you press this text and then you'll be taken to the map. However, for all of these other ones, when you press this text, you can actually change it. So that was a little bit confusing. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna now be able to press here, and then we can open in maps like that. So for example, if I press here now, I'm taken to the focus, which is up here. So then I can change to whatever address I have. For example, I can pick a random address in Sweden, like so. And then when I press this, I'm taken up there again. But also if I press here, I can go to open in maps, and I'll be taken to that particular place in maps. So, and I guess here I would need to add some more detail, as in like like that, for example, and then if I open that in Maps, I'll be taken to the correct location. Exactly. Good stuff. What else have we done? We have also updated, so now, for example, before you can press the risk assessment and go to it just by pressing the text. Before you had to press the arrow, and that was a little bit confusing. Now you can press all over there. Yeah, we've improved the arrows here on the job page. Now they should be working, so that you can press like that without getting any errors, which you were getting before. So that's pretty nice. We've changed we've added a little clarification for the QR code. So for example, if you go to gear and you press one of these now, or this one, for example, we can see it clearly here that you can press that one in order to be able to scan a QR code, which should be pretty good, a little bit clearer. There was some confusion I got about that during the beta test. We've corrected some typos, for example, like we had a delete job thing, we were missing a question mark, for example, relatively simple stuff. Also now we've done this, for example, when we take first name, say we delete this and we make it empty for now. If I then press this, I will capitalize it automatically. So that's pretty nice. So before it wouldn't do that, you'd have to capitalize it yourself, which can be a little bit annoying on your smartphone, but now we're capitalizing all names automatically. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what we've done tonight. So now we're gonna do what's so super satisfying. We're gonna check git status, and then it's gonna say this and all the changes were made. We're gonna go git add, and we're gonna add all of them. We're gonna commit it, and we're just gonna I always struggle with these like commit messages, but we're just gonna call it basic bug fixes. Like so, I guess you should write more detailed stuff, but I can't be bothered to. And then we're gonna go git push. Like so, and then all of this stuff is updated in GitHub. Tomorrow is Sunday, and tomorrow we're gonna add a little bit of a notice for the gear inventory list. We're also gonna check this logic, make sure that all filler text is unedited, that's removed when you press. So for example, now this is filler text, it says untyped, this is a job description, whatever. When I press this, I want that to be removed so people can just start writing instead of having to remove it themselves. That's one thing we're gonna do. We're gonna do this. So for example, this is for the risk assessment primarily, but it's so that when you unfocus from a text field, that's also gonna submit it to the database. I think we're gonna try this, better layout for login and sign up in regards to keyboard. And then we're gonna see if we can add a loading indicator for image uploads. Those are some pretty big tasks. I think we're gonna try to do those tomorrow. If we can manage to do that tomorrow, that's gonna be fantastic. We shall see. That was pretty much it for this Saturday evening / afternoon code session. So we're gonna call it a night there. It's like 10 o'clock. Had a relatively difficult time focusing all day. I'm not really sure why. So I'm not really gonna try to do more stuff now this evening, but quite happy with the progress that we made. In the future we have some exciting stuff. We're also gonna be adding payments, for example. That's been a lot of questions about that. How can I make payments in my Flutter app? So I'll probably make a video showing how to do that. We're also gonna add the subscription page and like all the testing that comes with that, which can be a little bit complicated and a little bit frustrating. And also, we need to do all the stuff like make a website, write legalese, etc. But yeah, that is all fun stuff. I don't think we're super far away. I think we're probably 4 weeks out from releasing this app, which is quite exciting. It's been quite a fast development cycle. I think I started coding in like September, and it's now end of January. And I think we've had 1.5 kind of beta tests and then made a lot of progress. So I'm quite happy with how quickly it's gone. If you want to continue watching along on this series, starting a startup, and you want to see how this app turns out, if you have any questions, if you have any particular videos you want to watch, let me down below. But if you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. It costs you absolutely zero. It's for free. What a bargain. Leave a like down below if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.